What? A fire? No, just trying to open a package of socks. Come on in. It's Sleep or Don't. Hey, it's Sleep or Don't. I'm Mr. Vanilla Extract, and I am the perfect ingredient for your pre-sleep routine. I'm standing out here where it all started, in the old hometown in front of the tractor sign. It's like 40 degrees. It's been raining today. I'm recording a little video if you want to go to YouTube, Sleep or Don't. You can see my face in the shadows. But I wanted to visit the place where it all got started. The place where it all got started. The place where I started to not be able to sleep very well. Ever since I was a little kid. Not very good at sleeping. And it's World Sleep Day. It's a day to raise awareness for sleep and the importance of sleep. You and I are not going to dwell on that. We know sleep's important. We've tried everything, right? We've tried everything. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I like to think about how I was bad at sleeping when I was a kid. One of my favorite memories, I'm afraid of the dark memories, is I had an older brother and a younger brother that were close enough to me in age that we were we shared a room. And there was a spare room. And then those two brothers decided that they were going to sleep in that bed. There's a queen bed in there. It's a guest room, I guess. We called it the sewing room. Being devout sewing people. And they would sleep in that bed. Well, I didn't want to sleep alone in my bedroom. There was no room in there. I was not invited. And I was not okay with that. I wanted to be closer to them. I was nervous. I didn't want to be alone in my bed. And so what did I do? I slept in the closet. So our bedroom was across the hall from the spare bedroom. My sister's bedroom was there too. It was kind of 3 doors facing each other, 2 on one side, 1 on the other. And between those was a closet. And in this closet we had some games on the higher shelves, and higher up we had towels and things like that, I think. And on the very bottom, neatly folded and stacked, were blankets. And so they would go at bedtime, they'd put their pajamas on and they'd brush their teeth, and then they would go and get into that bed, and I would be left alone. So I would say, well, I'll just sleep in the closet. So I'd open the closet doors up, the accordion style closet doors that make that ee sound when you open them. And I'd pull the blankets out and just kind of waterfall them on top of me and just scooch underneath the very bottom of all of those blankets. And so I'd have a lot of weight on me, and I'd make a little cocoon there. And, because I was afraid of something, I imagined that this very natural looking blanket waterfall was a pretty good camouflage, that anything that happened by whatever I was afraid of for that month would be like, well, there's the blanket waterfall. Now, where are my victims? But it's funny. I see in my kids, the two that are afraid of the dark, 2 are, 2 aren't. I see in my kids the same thing that scared me. And, it was it's silly things like a look on a TV show where somebody just gives a creepy look. It's not the monster. It's the creepy look. I remember my kids, especially the Frady cat when they were young, was afraid of the Miss Trunchbull on Matilda, the movie Matilda with Danny DeVito, which is such a great show with Rhea Perlman, Danny DeVito. But they were, all of my kids were just terrified of that mean lady. You could watch anything that would normally spook a kid and didn't spook them at all. But if a creepy lady, and not even like, not even over the line, just a lady who was a little stern, they got real nervous about that. Anyway, so whatever it was I was afraid of, cocooned up under the waterfall of blankets in the hallway closet, I'm laying there just waiting for sleep, and it took so long to fall asleep. I would always try to be the first one to sleep, because if I was the last one to sleep, then it took even longer, because then I was just sweating it out. I don't know what I was sweating, but I was sweating. And anyway, one night, I'm cocooned up, and I can hear my brothers chatting a little bit, and then it gets quiet. And it's quiet for a long time. And I'm laying there just like, cocooned up, feeling pretty confident though. It was a good cocoon, good camouflage. One of my better sleep routines was the blanket waterfall. But waiting for sleep, and then all of a sudden, the younger brother started talking, and he was just, it wasn't regular talking. It was sleep talking. He was sleep talking, and my older brother started talking back. I know the younger brother was definitely asleep. I don't know if my older brother was asleep or he didn't know that it was sleep talking, but it was total gibberish. And they argued for a minute, and then it was quiet again. Just little memories like that, right? Just hanging out, wearing your homemade pajamas that your mom made or your grandma made, depending on the season. Got homemade pajamas from grandma at Christmas time. My mom was just resourceful. She just making things. And I think everyone has a little bit of nostalgia, no matter what your childhood was like. You have some nostalgia for something. The style of clothes, the music, the hairdos. You have some nostalgia for whatever it is that you had when you grew up. And whenever I come back to this place, the tractor sign, I get nostalgic, and I think about how awesome it was to ride bikes around town. Everybody's got their stories about, in my day, we just rode around town and we didn't have to come home till the street lights came on. And I certainly lived that. And I think a lot of people do still live that. Not everywhere, but the thing about where I lived was the thing that scared me at night, the wide open spaces. Why is this truck sneaking up on me? They just turned their headlights off. Coming up to see what I'm doing. I better pause. All right, I'm back. Got chatting for a while with those fellers. They're just out driving their truck around. That's the only pastime here for teenagers. It's out driving the back roads. And either looking for trouble or just looking for nothing, looking for coyotes, looking for deer, spotlighting rabbits. Who knows? These guys didn't really tell me. I'm in the car now. It's getting nippy out there, and I thought it would be best if I climbed into the car, so I might peek around. I'm still recording video. Yeah, I might peek around and show my face again, but I don't know if anybody really cares about my face. My face is great. I lost my train of thought. This is a Stream of Conscious podcast, and so we're just going to push on. And it is World Sleep Day, but we're gonna mostly do business as usual here. So we're gonna go back to Google Scholar, and I found a little treasure trove here that is that is old school research that I just think is so fun. So that's what we're doing. That's how we're going to wind down tonight, you and I. Here's the article from 1920, Journal of Heredity. And the title is The Water Buffalo, a Tropical Source of Butterfat. Doesn't that sound great? Let's look into a tropical source of butterfat. So, first of all, they've got some great old school photos. They've got two water buffaloes, and the water buffaloes have a bridle on them, kind of a makeshift rope bridle, and they've got two gentlemen they each have the reins to one of these water buffalo. I believe this is in China. This is a photocopy scanned, so I can't tell for sure, but it's talking about China, so I think maybe we'll see. The water buffalo is found in all parts of China as far north as Shanghai. It is the most common in regions where lowland rice is the main crop grown by the farmers, where it finds its chief use as a draft animal in the wet paddy fields. The estimated common weight of the water buffalo in China is about 800 to 1,200 pounds. Measurements made by the writer of 12 cows kept on the college farm have given an average height of 49 inches at the withers. So, does anybody know what the withers are? I feel like I should, but I don't. The withers. The ridge between the shoulder blades of an animal, typically a quadruped. So the ridge between the shoulder blades. So forget the head, but the highest point on the back/shoulders. So next time you want a good back rub, say, "Oh, baby, start at the withers." Oh, that sounds great. Hey, look. Like the pig, the water buffalo has few sweat glands in its skin, and for this reason cannot endure hard work in the sun for a long period unless its body is wet with water. Yeah, that's interesting. That's something to know about water buffaloes. Let's move forward, though, and see if we can get into the butterfat. Okay, estrus, gestation, weight of calves at birth, and age of usefulness. That's the next section. Maybe we'll just skim that briefly. Okay, in order to secure a long lactation period and the maximum amount of milk, buffalo cows kept for milk are usually not bred until 3 or 4 months after freshening. Although, I don't know what freshening means. Although the ordinary buffalo of China gives but a small amount of milk, it is extremely rich in fat, and lactation periods of 12 months are common. I'm not a dairy person, and I don't know how that compares to the cows that we have, the Holsteins and the Jerseys and the... Oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble from my dairy friend. There's one more that I should know. Anyway, the cows are considered profitable for dairy purposes until they are about 15 years old. Okay, but do you want to know how to tell the age of a buffalo? The age of a buffalo is indicated quite accurately by the teeth, up to a certain number of years, similar to the way it is indicated in European cattle. Like other members of the bovine group, the buffalo has no teeth in front of the upper jaw. The calf is usually born with 6 temporary teeth in the front of the lower jaw. 2 more appear a few weeks later. At about 3 years of age, the middle pair of temporary teeth are replaced by 2 permanent teeth. Okay? 3 years of age, 2 permanent teeth. When 4 years old, the ones on either side of the first pair are up and in use. At 5, the next teeth on either side of the fourth year teeth are up. And at 6, the corner teeth are up and in wear. The age of animals is more than 6 years old is roughly estimated by the appearance of the wearing surface of the teeth in the front of the lower jaw. This is actually pretty cool. I would encourage all of us, if we got a pen and paper next to our beds and we're already wound down, we should make some notes on this. And next time you're somewhere down in the rice paddies, which I hope you are next time soon, I hope that you hop out of the truck and walk over to one of the water buffaloes and pry its mouth open and impress your friends on how well you know. I'm good. You good? I'm trying to get a good picture of this tractor sign. Does that sound weird enough? I don't know if I'll leave that in or not. We'll see. Checking to see what I'm doing. Pretty weird. Well, now I've lost my train of thought. Yeah. So impress your friends. Pry open the mouth of that water buffalo. Look for wear on those teeth. Or look for the initiation of some of those other teeth. This guy's circling around again. He just drove down to see what I was doing. See, this is what you get in a small town. Like, if somebody's parked on the side of the road for 20 minutes, that's not normal. I don't recognize. Whose car is that? Gladys? I don't know. Let's go down and see. I'll go down and see. Where's my Magnum? You see him drive by? He's going back into his driveway. As the animals grow older, the sharp edges of the teeth wear down. The wearing surface become more flat and the teeth more round. After 8 to 10 years, the enamel has worn away. Next page. Nice picture of a water buffalo. And yellow centers show on the wearing surface of each tooth. You know, water buffaloes and cattle spend a lot of time, basically their entire day, gnawing on something, so I can see how their teeth would wear down. Okay, uses of the water buffalo, character of the buffalo milk. Yeah, let's find out about the character of the buffalo milk. The milk of the water buffalo is pure white in color. Butter made from the milk is also pure white. It is wholesome and palatable when produced under sanitary conditions. Students and teachers, both Europeans and Chinese, at the Canton Christian College preferred drinking buffalo milk to European cow's milk. The objectionable flavor often found associated with buffalo milk is usually due to the production of the milk under unsanitary conditions, which generally prevail in most village dairies. Now we're going to get into milk analysis. See, I love this because, in 1920, you picture this Canton Christian College, these people going off into China, which was very underdeveloped in 1920. It was, if I understand right, sometime shortly after 1920, or maybe around 1920, things really started accelerating. But they're out in the sticks learning about how do people produce milk and butterfat out here. Sounds fun, right? You just kind of picture a lot more dust in those days, and I don't know, more natural fibers on their clothes. Nobody's wearing polyester. Everything's cotton or wool. The following tables and the analysis of milk and production records of cows for which we have records extending over a period of several months or for entire lactation periods. Okay, I want to see this table. Here we go. Number of buffalo cow, length of lactation period by months, total amount of milk in pounds, total amount of fat in pounds, average percent of fat. Okay, I love a good table. And what we do in modern science is we have ever sophisticated, ever more sophisticated modes of statistical analysis. And so we have these fancy charts with dots all over them and lines and X's, and we're plotting stuff and we're saying, yeah, well, this is how you read this chart. And in these days, they did statistical analysis, not as sophisticated as we do now, but not that different, but most, especially in agriculture stuff that I've seen, most of what they liked to do was just build these tables. And so if we're looking at, they had 1 through 63 buffalo cow, and the length of lactation period ranged from 6 to 11 months. The total amount of milk in pounds ranged from 300 pounds to 2,600 pounds. And it looks like, as a percentage, the milk fat, or the amount of fat in the milk in pounds, was about 10 to 12%. So I don't know how that compares, but somebody out there does. Somebody out there knows how it compares to cows. And maybe if we read on, we'll find out. Just trying to get a picture of this tractor sign. Is that weird enough for you? I don't know. What was I supposed to say? Okay. More tables. Okay, here's the European cow milk. Percent. Oh yeah, they have okay. Complete analysis of buffalo milk. Okay, here we go. So the buffalo milk by percent was whatever I said, 10 to 14 on this new table, and European cow's milk is 3 to 5. So that's interesting. I once took a road trip through the redwoods. Well, I took a long road trip, and first we were going to go to Crater Lake. And so my buddy and I, we took a drive up to Oregon, and we drove all day, and we got to the town just outside of Crater Lake. We stayed in a hotel. We got up the next morning, and the plan was to go up to Crater Lake, and then we were going to do an arc through southern Oregon and then hit the coast and then go down through the redwoods in California, and then come down through Lake Tahoe and then drive home. It was our walkabout. We were talking work. We were co-workers. We were scheming and planning and trying to figure out how to make what we did at our company better. And we got up the morning of Crater Lake, the Crater Lake Day, and we were talking about how excited we were to go to Medford and tour the Harry and David pear orchard. And we were so excited to tour that pear orchard that we completely forgot about Crater Lake. And we didn't remember that we had missed Crater Lake until we were on I-80 in Nevada driving back to Utah. So like 3 days later, we realized, wait a minute, we didn't even see Crater Lake because we were so excited to see the pear orchards, which were awesome. We had a great time. The reason I bring this road trip up, is because we stopped on the California coast, way extreme North California. We stopped just before the coast, coming down the coast mountains towards the ocean, at this little shop to get lunch and some snacks for the road. And there was a little container of milk that was I guess it was a pint, and it was 12% milk fat. And I was like, well, I got to get this. What is this going to do to my body? 2% milk, whole milk, whatever. 12%? How do they even do that? Well, maybe it was water buffalo. Maybe it was. Guys, I've been all over the place here tonight and interrupted a couple of times, which I think was quite... I think it added to the flavor of where I am. You can't see it, but there's a pasture just to the right here of this. Well, there's pastures on both sides. Fields. So they're growing grass hay or alfalfa. They're grazing it with cows sometimes. They got wheel lines out there. And this is just small time agriculture out this way. And it's where all of my inabilities to sleep started. And I think we're going to end right there. On World Sleep Day, I just want to say, sing it into some. It's the bed, not the sleep. It should be World Bed Day. That's what we can control. Go get into bed. Sleep will find you.